am live streaming on Facebook and on YouTube simultaneously. So if you desire to hear more about what I've got to say in that, hey, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Got well over 700 videos that you can watch at your leisure. But today I thought we'd talk about something about this idea that we can quiet the mind, that we can just make the mind free of all thoughts. And you know what? It's impossible, because the mind's job is simply this: to think. The mind processes. It's continually evaluating. It's continually processing. It is never stopping. But what makes our lives, what creates our experience is this. And that is, do we remain attached to the thought? Do we hold on the thought? Do we bring the thought forward with us? And so you go back to the ancient masters of all time, and they talk about attachment is the source of all suffering. Well, you see, attachment is holding on to a thought. They understood, the great masters of the world understood that the mind, this thinking mind, this human mind, this ego mind, is constantly going to be churning. And if you're out there and you're listening, you know right now that your mind is going in 1,000 different directions. It's never one focus. It's like a machine gun. That's why they call it the monkey mind. It can't slow down. The key thing, though, is, can you become aware enough? Can you become conscious enough so that you're able to not hold on to the thought, to let go of the thought? And you see, that's the process of meditation. Meditation is to understand that the thoughts are going on, the thoughts will continue to go on, but don't hold on to them. Just watch them float by. There goes one, there goes another. And when you do that, guess what? You become the observer. That's the key thing that meditation allows you to do. You become the observer of your thoughts, which in turn can translate in you become the observer of your experience. You become the observer of your life. And so you're not stuck in the role of being the actor, but you're being the director. And you're the actor, and you get to experience the movie that you're creating in your mind any way that you like. You see, because that's what we're doing. With our minds, we're creating a virtual reality within us. We think it's real, but it's really all that we're experiencing is based on one thing, our perception. And our perception is the filter that we look at life through. And everyone on this planet has a different filter, because that filter is built up by our thought atmosphere, which is built up by all the thoughts and experiences that we've ever had. And most of that thought filter has been greatly, greatly influenced by our mom and by our dad, by the schools, our friends, the media, by the religions of the world. And so you understand that, oh, I'm free. No, you're really not free, because you're bound by your thought atmosphere. Here's the beauty of that, though. You can change your thought atmosphere. That's the power that you have inside you each and every moment of each and every day. It's consciously, what thought are you going to hold on to? What thought are you going to keep bringing in? Once you start to get that, then you practice the art of meditation, of observing thoughts moving in and out. And I'm going to tell you, it's not an easy practice. It takes work, because why? The mind likes to be in control, and the mind has been in control all of your adult life. And so you, my friends, it takes work to be the master of your mind. It's not that you can shut it down, but you can control the thoughts, and whether you are attached to them, hold on to them, bring them forward, or can you see balance in your thoughts? That's really the key. Should we examine our perceptions as we have them? We can. Because then if we examine our perceptions, then we can determine, is this the perception I want to go through life? See, we've been taught, I'll use an example here. We've been taught to have the perception of knowing what is right and what is wrong. And so our perception is, as we look at everything, well, that's right, that's wrong. Well, maybe it's neither. Maybe it's neither right or wrong based on our perception. Interesting thought. When you come back to the idea, if you embrace the idea that there's an infinite, call it whatever you want, infinite mind, universal mind, the cosmos, call it God, call it George, call it anything you want, divine feminine, it doesn't matter what you call it. Because it's infinite means there's nothing else beside it. Therefore, it doesn't judge, it doesn't critique, because there's nothing for it to compare against, because it is everything. And so you can't judge against something if there's only one. Do you get that? We think we can. We've created Santa Claus. You're naughty or nice. You see, there's a perception. Are you naughty? Are you nice? Are you deserving? Are you undeserving? I'm going to tell you what you're deserving of. Whatever you're getting right now is what you're deserving of. You say, whoa, I don't want that, Lee. I don't like what I got in my life. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. The thought atmosphere that you are is attracting what you're experiencing. The thoughts that you're holding on to and the perceptions of the thoughts you're holding on to are attracting the experience that you're having. You want to have a different experience? Change your mental atmosphere. Change your perception. It's just that simple. Losing a job could be labeled as horrific. It could also be labeled as the best thing that ever happened because you're no longer in a job that you hated in the first place, and now you're free to find something where you can give your gifts. I had that happen to me 1, 2, 3, 4 times in my corporate career. I was in the corporate world, in case you didn't know it. And each time I was better off. No matter how high I got, no matter how much I was making, when I lost the job, it was because I wasn't a vibrational match to it. And then I got to do what I vibrationally matched to. Right now, I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher of practical spirituality. That's what I teach. And Annette says, so is ego a part of God? Well, Annette, let me ask you a question. If God is infinite, can there be anything that's not a part of it? Question answered, isn't it? I don't need to go any further than that. I think you've already got your answer. You see, that's the key thing to understand, is if you believe that this God, this universal mind, is infinite. Kishov says, why have I changed my timing? No, I haven't changed my timing. It's just that we changed our time zone here, Keshev. We have daylight savings time, and I stood on the same time, which means I move forward an hour. So depending on where you are, you've always got to remember when you go to the Agape calendar and you see a time, it's Central Time. And you adjust to me. Because I'm not adjusting for anyone else. I have to just live by my schedule. So find out where I am, when I am, and that type of thing. I know this daylight savings time we got here, it sucks. I wish they would just stick with one time and stop this nonsense. It's not like we got fields to plow for. Oops. I guess the God as me is having a moment, isn't he or she? I'm in judgment, aren't I? Hey, guess what? Keshav, guess what time it is? It's now. So whenever you want to hear me, I'm always speaking in the now. How's that? I love playing around. Don't you love having fun? That's what this life is supposed to be. It's supposed to be unattached to. Here's a key thing. When you have to defend yourself in any situation, realize you're attached to a thought. You're attached to a mental image of you. Ask the question, why am I taking myself so seriously? It's a good question. We should never take ourselves too seriously. We're here to experience life. There is no right or wrong. There's just experience. There's just experience. And you get to choose the experience you have. You may not get to choose everything that happens to you because we live in a world of, 7.5 plus billion people. We live in a world that big. And so we don't get to choose. Sandra Lynn says, I'm not adjusting to you. Lots of laughs. Hey, I'm self-centered, aren't I? And you say, why are you self-centered? Because I have to do things that fit my highest values. Hey, in case you don't know it, I'm offering a free workshop next Saturday. I'm going to talk about how do you find your purpose and what's the basis of finding your purpose. I'm going to talk about values. If you're interested in that workshop, to get the Zoom link, you've got to go to agapespiritualcenter.com, agapespiritualcenter.com, click on the calendar, go to next Saturday. You'll see the workshop. I think it's at 10:30. And I'll click it and register, and you'll get the Zoom link. I'm going to give you a lot of great information in the hour that we're together. So if you're interested, spread it around too. If you got friends you think might be interested, spread it around to them. It's a freebie. I'm coming to conclusion that the ego is needed for learning for contrast. It is needed for contrast. Without the ego, there is no contrast. The ego is really what makes this life worthwhile. Amen. Oh, Ahmed says, it's Ronan here from Dearborn, Michigan. I love it. I was born and raised in Dearborn, Michigan. I had the most incredible dream the other night. You know, this is my podcast, so I can talk about anything I want. But in this dream, I was like much younger. I was like in my mid-30s, like half my age. And I was with my granddaughter, Claire, who was just the way she is, about 3. And my mother, who's been dead for like 10 years, she showed up. And she was with Claire, and she was saying, Claire, come here, come here, come here. I got a cannoli. And my mother had this homemade Italian cannoli, and my mother made the best cannolis in the world. She made the shells, the filling, everything. And she was giving the pieces of the cannoli to Claire, and Claire was just going, oh, no, 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 so good, so good. Now, my perception of that was, it just made me happy to see my mother and my granddaughter. Let me see. Ahmed says, can you shed some insight on synchronicity? Here's what I know about synchronicity. The thought atmosphere that you are attracts to you what it is. And you may think it's synchronicity, but it's simply the law of attraction working. That's how I look at it. What does John DeMartini say? He says that love is the synchronicity and synthesis of complementary opposites. Love is the synchronicity and synthesis of complementary opposites. In other words, what he's saying is the immediate, in the now, being able to see the balance of a situation, the balance of life, the balance of a person. That's love. Love is the state of perfect balance. It's the state of perfect acceptance. And that's what we teach at Agape all the time. When someone says to me, what is love? I said, just use the word acceptance. What is self-love? The ability to accept all of you as you are. All of you. Both sides, yin and yang. Not one, my friends, but both. Hey, I've almost done a Sunday talk. I've talked so long today. But guess what? At 10:30 Central Time, Keshev, I'm going to be doing my Agape service. You'll find me on my Facebook or on my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. We're getting fast to 9,200 subscribers. My goal is to be at 10 real fast. Why? So we can keep going so more people get this message. So I want to share with you this. If no one has told you, I will. I love you because I accept you as you are. So go create a great day, everybody. Aloha.